What the hell is a deal memo?
Hey guys, it's makeup artist DeShawn all the way from New York City, and I am back with a series of 25 videos that will help my amazing, fabulous makeup artists with their business and their beauty. But I really concentrate more on the business. And so that's what this channel is all about. Let's get started. Okay, so when you get a job offer, correct? Normally you should be at home sitting by the phone and the phone just rings and it says, "You're so fabulous. We want you to work with us," right? Well, when you get those types of phone calls, what happens is you and the other party will discuss what is happening, right? So what is taking place? The time, the date, the job description, how many hours, the pay, the travel, the stipends, and all that kind of stuff, right? You're going to have a conversation like that, right? You're going to get the information from this person so you can say yay or nay to the gig, correct? Okay. So now, what should accompany this conversation is a deal memo. You send it to the person who's hiring you, and you say, "Is this cool?" And they say, "Yes, this is exactly what we discussed." And that's kind of it. That's what a deal memo is. But here's the caveat, people. Okay, so a lot of people get a deal memo confused with a contract. If I send you a deal memo, that means that you must work with me on this date, blah, 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 blah. A deal memo is only for mapping out what you have already discussed, what you two have agreed upon, okay? It is not a contract. It's not even binding. By law, technically, it's not even binding. I know everybody wants to give me well, I know my cousin and my cousin used a deal memo and they won in court. Okay, that's cool. But I'm saying in general, they're not really binding. Binding means an obligation of the other person to do what is written down on the paper. Okay, so what makes this deal memo kind of binding is the addition of a signature. Okay, so on the bottom here, you'll see that there's a place for not only their signature, but yours as well. It has to be what? Again, remember, it is an agreement, and it has to be signed by both parties, which means what again? Both parties agree. Get it? Okay. Then that person gets a copy and you retain your copy. Again, DeShawn, but shouldn't that be enough? Technically, no. You're supposed to have a contract that goes along with it. Now remember, contracts can go on for pages. I've signed some contracts that were like 25 pages long, and I was like, "You've got to be kidding me." But contracts go on, they can go on and on and on. So you have to come up with your own contract that will go along with the deal memo. It's just that right now, at this very beginning stages of this job, let's say, this is what you two have agreed upon. Do you understand what I'm saying? Then the contract will follow. I want to make that clear. Deal memo first, contract second. It follows the agreement. Again, now, if you say, "Well, I have my contract in place, Sean, I'm going to send them both," that's fine. But you always have to make sure they're both signed. What happens if you change your mind or the job changes or they call you up and say, "Well, we thought there were going to be just one model or one client. Now there's 25. And, well, we thought the job was going to be for a day. Now it's 2." Something like that. Then you can go back and revise the deal memo. You understand? So you go back and revise the deal memo. And again, as usual, you will sign your end. They sign theirs. So a deal memo is supposed to be done as soon as the conversation is over in terms of all the information you're supposed to get. It has to be done before the job. You cannot wait till you get the job and then give somebody a deal memo. It doesn't work that way. You have to do it before the gig starts, and you have to do it in a timely manner. You can't wait a day before the job to give somebody a deal memo. You have to do it. Let's say if the call was on a Thursday, don't wait 5,000 days for a deal memo. If you have agreed to something, then that deal memo should be up and out the door quickly. I would say, in other words, if it's Thursday, then it should be out Friday. So I want to make that clear. It's not something that you should be sitting on, because you want to get that person to agree to the terms, and you want them to agree quickly. You don't want it to sit around and fester. You want to get your joint going. So I just want to make that clear. Don't sit on a deal memo and think I have all the time in the world, or the job's not going to start until 2 weeks from now. No, the deal memo has to be done within several days of the agreement. I mean, some people, if you can, some people just do it that day. I know everything has titles in our industry. A deal memo, what we just discussed, is a deal memo. An invoice is something else, which you're invoicing somebody for a job already done, correct? Then you have contracts that solidify and break down all different types of things that you will do, won't do, what you expect, how you expect to be paid, all of that stuff. Ding, 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 goes into the contract. And so there's just a lot. So I don't want you guys to get confused between a deal memo is a contract's an invoice. It's not. A deal memo is a deal memo. A contract's a contract. Invoice is invoice. Got it? Okay. So here's the coolest thing for newbies, which I didn't have, honey, okay? Ain't nobody give me no deal memo thing. So the first thing I want to tell you is that there is a sample of a deal memo on my blog under, you guessed it, the title, Deal Memos. Okay, so there's a sample for you guys to see. Now, why is that sample so a diggy-daggy cool? Well, the reason why it's so cool is that when you get the phone call, right, it's kind of like set up for you in terms of what you should be asking. It's almost like a script. You up and I'll say, hey, I have a job for you. And then you look on the deal memo and you say, oh, really? What day? They'll say, blah, 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 blah. And then you'll say, oh, really? Well, how many clients? And it's all right there spelled out. And then, of course, it says, well, how much is the job? And it's all right there spelled out for you. So basically, you can kind of print this out. Remember, it's a sample. Let me make it this clear before I continue. It is a sample basic deal memo. No two deal memos will be the same. You will have different things that you need to put on each and every deal memo. So it's not like you could just blanketly do a deal memo. Everything has to be filled in specifically for the job. Okay, so let me clarify before I continue. But like I said, it is a very good opening, let's say, for you to get comfortable with talking to people, because now you know what to ask. It's literally right there in the deal memo. So like I said, it is going to be on my blog. Just go to DeShawnHatcher.com, click the blog. It'll be right there for you. Download it. It is free to you. Download it. And then that's kind of it. I just wanted to share with you beautiful people what the hell a deal memo is, and what do you do with it, and what do you do, and why is it there, and so on and so forth. It's somewhat like a protection for you and a protection for that person, because it has been agreed upon. There's none of this, well, I thought you said, and I thought he said, and all that. There's none of that. It is solidified in that piece of paper. It's really important to use on a regular basis, especially when money is involved. Now, you don't necessarily have to always use it for something that's not being paid. But let's say if the deal memo was, well, they promised you makeup. Let's put it that way. They promised you makeup and they said, pick out what you want. Then you might want to do the deal memo and then include an inventory list of what it is that you want from this particular company. You understand what I'm saying? And you just attach it. And then again, you send it off and then they sign it. Okay, so that's kind of all I wanted to tell you about our deal memo. So beautiful people, I am very happy to be back. I missed you, I really did. I know you guys were saying, listen here, woman, them Sunday chats are cute, but I ain't gonna listen to you for no hour and a half. And I understand that. But it just did take me a minute to bring my behind back here and do this with flus, and then working with Craftobian for the inclusion palette, and also pushing that book. And so it's just been really, really busy, kind of what feels like a year has passed. But I am very happy to be back, and I really do appreciate you all, and I really wish you all well. I really wish you all are safe. I do have the chats on Sunday, and they're live, and we get to chat, and we get to tea and a he. So stop on by and check that out if you get the chance. And obviously, if you miss a chat, please feel free to just plug in your earphones and listen to it like a podcast, because that's what people tell me they're doing. They're listening to it like a podcast. And so that's it. So like I said, I'll be back next week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and turn on that notification, okay? So you know when I'm finally up and when I'm finally loading. Some of the videos, they should be once a week, but there's 25 in total. So I want you to understand that. So I'm trying to do everything once a week for you guys. So make sure that you turn on the notifications, because I'm not sure if I'm uploading on the same day every week. Not yet. I'll let you know. Anyway, I'm out. Have a good one, people. Stay safe. Bye, guys.
Do you want to be a kick-ass assistant? Be on set? Learn from top artists? Then get your copy, Assisting Rules by DeShawn Hatcher, the ultimate guide to assisting makeup artists and hairstylists in beauty, fashion, and print. Only at assistingrules.com.